Before we begin, let me ask you something. Have you ever stood on your own front porch on Christmas morning, watching the family you raised through the frosted glass of a locked door, feeling the cold breath of betrayal on your skin? That split second when the world goes silent and you realize you're no longer welcome, not because you left, but because they chose to exile you. Snowflakes drift lazily from the sky, landing like silent witnesses on the scarlet berries of the holly wreath I hung just hours ago. Pine needles scent the crisp air, but my heart is overshadowed by a chill that no fire can banish. My breath clouds in front of me, each exhale a question. Is this really my home? My daughter-in-law's text buzzed like a knife. "Don't come over today," it read, flat and final. I press my palm against the cold wood of the door, and the warmth of gingerbread memories tugs at my ribs. Everything I built, everything I believed feels scraped away. If you've ever been cast aside by the ones you love, stay with me. Subscribe to the channel and tell me in the comments, where in the world are you watching from? I wake before dawn, eyes flickering open to the soft glow of streetlights bleeding through lace curtains. My heart flutters, a mix of anticipation and something heavier I can't name yet. The guest room feels like a stranger's retreat, yet I remember the last time I slept here. Laughter echoing down the stairs, the scent of spices drifting up in promise. Not today. Today, the air carries only the cold hush of suspicion. I slip out of bed and pad across the polished hardwood floor in my slippers. The red cardigan I chose last night warms my shoulders as I tie the festive scarf around my neck. I catch my reflection in the tall mirror, silver hair pinned back, eyes lined with memories. I brush a loose strand away and take a deep breath. Christmas morning beckons. Carols hum in my mind as I make my way downstairs. Each stair creaks under my weight, sending vibrations through my ribcage, reminders of every Christmas Eve I coaxed those boards into song. The scent of pine is stronger here than I remember. Their towering tree stands in the corner, needles dusted with fairy lights that glow like captured fireflies. Ornaments hang heavy on every branch. A porcelain angel Michael brought home from kindergarten, Sophie's glittering snowflake, Ethan's lopsided clay reindeer. Each one carries a story. I carry a platter of homemade cinnamon rolls, still steaming, ribbons of sugar icing glistening under the glow of overhead bulbs. My fingers tingle from the warmth of the metal beneath. I hum a forgotten verse of Silent Night as I step into the kitchen and stop short. A sprawl of flower footprints marks the tile floor like a breadcrumb trail gone awry. A mountain of dishes is piled high in the sink, coffee-stained mugs teetering on the edge. Bowls dribble remnants of pancake batter, and spoons lie abandoned like flags of surrender. Michael stands by the counter, wiping his mouth with the back of his hand. His hair is mussed, and dark circles ripple beneath his eyes. He offers me a tired smile, one that doesn't quite reach his eyes. Sophie tugs at his pant leg, her voice a whisper of excitement. Ethan waves a sticky mitten inches from my face, giggling at the way bits of sugar dance in the air. Their laughter should warm me. Instead, it feels like a distant echo of something lost. I clear my throat. "Merry Christmas," I say, lifting the platter. My voice cracks on the words, and Sophie wraps both arms around my waist. I inhale the scent of her hair, cotton candy and shampoo, and my chest tightens. I want to scoop her into my arms and spin until the world blurs. But I stand still, offering the rolls as an unspoken olive branch. Michael says, "Thanks, Mom." He reaches out to take one, but his fingers hover. He glances toward the living room, as if expecting someone else to appear. I follow his gaze. Empty doorway, vacant silence. I turn toward the counter and spot the note. It's written in Amanda's precise handwriting on a piece of stationery stamped with their family crest. My fingers tremble as I pick it up. "Linda, do us a favor and stay in your room today. We'll let you know when dinner's ready." The paper feels fragile beneath my skin. I stare at those 6 words as if they might rearrange themselves into something kinder. They don't. The warmth seeps out of me. I press my palm against the cool countertop, fingertips sliding across a smear of flour. Memories flash behind my eyelids. Teaching Michael to ride a bike outside our old ranch house. Late-night grading sessions warmed by cinnamon tea. Whispered prayers beside my husband's hospital bed. This note erases all of it. I fold the paper carefully and set it next to the platter. My stomach knots. "Mom, you okay?" Sophie asks. Her voice trembles. She senses the tension before I do. I force a smile and pat her head. "Of course, sweetie. Just give me a minute to drop these off in the guest room." I turn and begin the slow walk back up the stairs, each step heavier than the last. The rolls clatter softly against the platter's edge, as if begging me to change my mind. But my red cardigan holds more than festive cheer. It carries a mother's pride, a teacher's resolve, and now, something fiercer. In the guest room, I place the rolls on the dresser and smooth the note flat so it won't wrinkle. I stand at the window and peer through the frost-framed pane. The driveway is empty except for Michael's minivan, half covered in snow. I exhale, and my breath fogs the glass. Outside, the neighborhood is waking. Wreaths adorning every door, wrapped gifts peeking from windows, children trudging through drifts toward the street. It looks like every other Christmas morning except this one. A memory surfaces. Amanda's voice the night before, thinly veiled annoyance. "It's a small space, Mom. You know how tight things are with student loans." She laughed it off, as if loans and laughter were interchangeable. I nodded, brushing her comment aside. I wanted to believe she was joking, but now I trace her words in my mind, tasting the bitterness they carried. I smooth my skirt and wipe my palms on my cardigan. Outside, a gust of wind rattles the eaves, as if urging me to act. I glance at the door. It's painted cherry red, the same color as my cardigan. My reflection stares back at me, an old woman with a lineage of kindness behind her and a spark of defiance before her. I tuck stray hair behind my ear. No one said Christmas has to be merry. No one said tradition can't be rewritten. The clock on the nightstand ticks toward 8:30. I can hear Michael calling up the stairs, voice tinged with worry. Sophie's footsteps join soon after, soft and tentative. Ethan's uneven steps, full of curiosity. They pause. A collective breath. I feel them waiting. I take one last look at the tray. The cinnamon rolls smell like hope and heartbreak baked into swirls. I don't want to lock myself away, but if I enter that kitchen on their terms, I lose more than a morning. I gather the platter and the note. I open the door and step into the hallway, closing it gently behind me. The warmth of the living room drapes across my shoulders like a blanket, inviting and thick with expectation. I inhale, steadying myself. I move toward the stairs again, but this time I don't climb. I turn instead, heading for the front door. I pause in the foyer, hearing Michael call, "Mom?" His voice cracks like the ice on the porch. My hand hovers above the doorknob. I imagine it turning, setting me free. My heartbeat pounds in triumph and terror. A single decision stands between me and everything I thought I knew. Outside, snow drifts swirl in soft circles, as if dancing for me alone. I step onto the porch, and the door clicks shut behind me. The lock clicks twice, echoing through the empty house. Snowflakes kiss my cheeks. I breathe in the cold air. I watch the window light grow dim as Michael pulls back the curtain. I don't look back. My story is just beginning. I linger on the frozen porch, the door's cherry red paint pressing cold against my back. Every breath sends mist spiraling into the winter air. My heart pounds like a drumbeat, first with shock, then with something fiercer. Memories flood me, one after another, like ornaments tossed from a shaken tree. Small slights, little cuts, polite demands, each one a splinter in my dignity. The first came a week before Thanksgiving. My phone buzzed in the guest room. I opened the text to see my own name in Amanda's crisp font. "Mom, the heating bill doubled last month. You need to chip in $100. "A polite request," she said. I blinked at the screen, imagining our old farmhouse furnace working overtime to keep me warm. I tapped back, "Of course." But inside, I felt the first crack of resentment. Then, at dinner one evening, she glanced at my grocery bags and said, "I didn't realize your Social Security covered fresh produce. Guess I'll shop alone now." Her smile hovered just beyond polite. Sophie giggled at the table. Michael's eyes darted to mine, apologetic and helpless. I shrugged and poured gravy, tasting the faint bitterness of shame in my mouth. One morning I rose to find my old vacuum missing from the closet. In its place lay her sleek new model, gleaming, high-powered. I asked Michael where mine was. He shrugged. She borrowed it. Later I discovered she never returned it. Instead, I watched her use it in my hallway, humming as if she owned every bristle of the brush roll. My phone charger flickered in the wall socket. I frowned and pushed it deeper. Minutes later, I found it unplugged, coiled neatly on the counter. Amanda's voice floated down the hall. "Sorry, outlets are scarce." My battery drained, as if my very life force was being throttled. I left it unplugged for a day, just to feel what it was like to go powerless. At the dinner table on Christmas Eve, I proudly set down a bowl of homemade cranberry sauce, jewel red berries glistening in a tart glaze. Amanda lifted the lid, sniffed, then substituted in a plastic tub of store-bought congealed syrup. "Less time for us to bother with cleaning up," she smirked. Michael's fork paused in midair. Sophie's little face fell. I pushed my sauce aside, tasting insult with every bite. Laundry became ammunition, too. I washed my favorite sweater, the one Jim bought me on our anniversary. The next morning, Amanda held it up, sniffed, and said, "Too worn, I donated it." My chest tightened. I imagined it folded neatly among strangers' clothes at the thrift store. Then came the casual confession, nonchalant as chatter about the weather. "I'm really stretching to pay my student loans. Sorry if it's uncomfortable." Her apology hung in the air, dripping with false sincerity. I didn't realize until later that her stretching meant my credit line, on everything from streaming services to groceries, all billed to my Social Security debit card. Each of these favors, they asked, chipped away at my sense of home. They treated my love as currency, my kindness as entitlement. Home was no longer a sanctuary. It was their personal ATM. I caught Michael's eyes each time, filled with guilt, sorrow, and the desperate wish to protect me. But Amanda always brushed him off. "He'll understand," she'd say, voice dipped in false calm. That afternoon, as I stood in the kitchen trying to warm my hands on a chipped mug, I scrolled through statement after statement. Gas and electric still under my name. Cable, internet, phone, all draining my account. Household supplies disappearing into their closets. I flipped through the mortgage papers. The deed clearly read, Linda Thompson. They'd never refinanced. They'd just moved in and treated my life savings like loose change. I felt something harden inside me, like ice crystallizing in a pond. I remembered every lesson I taught in my 40 years as a school teacher. Fairness, respect, boundaries. Now it was my turn to apply those lessons. I clenched the mug so tight my knuckles blanched. No more silent concessions, no more swallowed pride. At 6:00 p.m., my phone buzzes again. I stare at the name Amanda. My pulse quickens. I tap the message open and read, "Your credit card statement shows $250 in holiday decorations at HomeGoods. You've already paid your share of rent. Don't spend more in my house." I can feel the room tilt. My vision narrows to the words on the screen, each one a shard of glass, cutting through the last vestige of goodwill I'd carried in my heart. I type back one sentence, feeling my voice steady with righteous fire. "This is my house, too. I own that tree." Her reply comes almost instantly, as if she's been waiting for the chance to strike. Not anymore. I sit at the kitchen table long after the midday sun has slanted through the window and fled. The room is colder now, the tree lights dimmed, and the only sound is the steady hum of the refrigerator. Papers litter the tabletop in haphazard stacks, bills, statements, notices. My hands hover above them, trembling with a fury I've never felt before. I pick up the first sheet, the electric bill, my name printed in familiar blue ink, the balance more than double what it was last month. My breath hitches. I recall leaving the thermostat at a comfortable 68-degree club, expecting only a modest increase. But the radiators clattered fiercely, pumping warmth they claimed was mine to pay for. I stare at the number until it blurs, then toss it aside. Next, the gas statement, a mountain of digits climbing higher than any winter before. I trace each figure with my fingertip, as if mapping the betrayal itself. How many showers did they take? How many loads of laundry churned day and night? My heart pounds. I've never felt so used. I turn to the water bill. The usage line ripples upward like a frost pattern on glass. I see Amanda's smug face as she brushed past the kitchen sink day after day, filling bottles and rinsing dishes that weren't hers. I feel a sting behind my eyes, tears I refuse to shed. A phone bill, cable and internet, streaming subscriptions I barely recognize. Their passwords have been mine, silently handed over in goodwill, then wielded as weapons. I grip the edge of the table until the wood bites into my palms. I lean back, chair scraping against the tile. My mind flashes to the mortgage papers tucked in the drawer. I pull them out and smooth the yellowed pages. The deed is unmistakable. My name, Linda Thompson, sole owner. They never dared to refinance. They simply moved in and treated my home like an all-you-can-spend buffet. Anger blooms inside me, fierce and hot. I close my eyes and inhale the stale scent of old coffee lingering in my chipped mug. I taught budgeting for 40 years, balanced ledgers, and taught children that credit is not free. Now I sip my bitter brew and taste the lesson I never thought I'd have to teach my own family. My gaze drifts to the platter of cinnamon rolls I left on the counter, cold now, dry. I remember the softness of each roll, the sugar ribboned through the dough. They were meant to be a gesture of love, proof that home is where hearts gather. They sit ignoble and untouched, a testament to what they've done. I stand and pace the length of the kitchen, from the sink with its mountain of dirty dishes to the open pantry where I once stocked ingredients for Sunday dinners. Now the shelves are bare, their contents hidden behind locked doors. I run my fingers along the countertop as if searching for answers etched in the granite. Lost in my storm of thoughts, I almost miss the memory of Amanda's confession last week. She'd leaned against the doorway, voice wistful. "I'm really stretching to pay my student loans," she'd said, eyes wide with what she hoped was sorrow. I'd offered to help. She'd smiled triumphantly and whispered, "Thanks, Mom." The truth dawns. It was never her money to stretch. I swallowed at the memory, tasting bile. I sit back down, heart thundering. I open my purse and extract the Social Security debit card, the card they drained month after month. I stare at it, the plastic edge worn smooth by my fingertips. This plastic was meant to sustain me. I tuck it back into my wallet and clamp my hand over it. I will not let them rob me any longer. My fury subsides to a cold clarity. I see the full picture now. They're not struggling, they're taking. They're not grateful, they're entitled. They're not family, they're invaders. And I'm not powerless. I taught my students to stand up for themselves. I taught my son to protect those he loves. I taught generations to claim their rights. This is my lesson. I press my palms flat on the table. Beneath my fingers, I feel the grain of the wood, rough and unyielding. I take a steadying breath, short, sharp, controlled, then another. I close my eyes and envision Amanda's face when the truth hits her, that every dime she spent came from my savings, that every bill they've racked up is owed not to a lenient grandmother, but to the rightful owner of this home. My vision sharpens. I see the path ahead. No more excuses, no more silent nods, no more tears swallowed in the dark. I reach for my laptop resting on the corner of the counter. The screen flickers to life, illuminating my determined face. I open the electric company's website first. My fingers fly over the keys. I change the billing address. I remove my Social Security debit and replace it with Michael's credit card. Let him face the fallout if he chooses. My lips curve in a small, triumphant smile. He'll learn too. Next, the gas provider. I submit a move-out request effective immediately. The form feels heavy as I click Confirm. I imagine the meter clicking to a halt, the flames in the furnace extinguishing one by one. Water company. I schedule a shutoff. The screen warns me of late fees. I don't care. I scroll through and finalize. Each click echoes in my mind like a bell tolling for their comfort. I cancel the cable and internet packages. No more streaming at my expense. I revoke every shared login, every saved password. I close the tabs with a flourish. I open the streaming services, 4, 5 different accounts, and click Unsubscribe. A pop-up asks why. I type a single word. Entitlement. I hit Send. My hands tremble again, but this time with excitement, not fear. I lean forward and search for a locksmith. I find a local service, type in their number, and place the order for a lock change at dawn. A locksmith's truck will arrive, and when they wake, they'll find the entrance barred. I lean back, breathing in the quiet triumph. The kitchen is a battlefield strewn with the remnants of their deceit. Snow drifts outside, mocking in its purity. But inside, I've reclaimed what's mine. My dignity, my home, my power. A knock at the door jolts me, soft, hesitant. I don't move. My pulse slows. They will come. Michael's voice thick with worry, Amanda's demands, Sophie's tears, but none of them will pass through that door until they learn respect. I rise and gather the papers into a neat stack. I slip them into an envelope and tuck it in the top drawer of the desk, proof of every injustice they've committed. Michael will find it. He'll see the trail of statements, the evidences of betrayal. The first rays of dawn stretch across the horizon, painting the snow in shades of pink and gold. I press my palm against the frosted window. I'm here. I'm unbroken. And I'm ready. Their lesson begins at sunrise. Night settles like a velvet cloak as I slip into my study, the glow from my laptop painting my face in ghostly hues. I sit at the edge of my chair, fingers poised above the keyboard. The household slumbers unaware. My pulse is steady, my mind is calm. This is not reckless rage. This is justice in motion. I open the electric company's portal first. The screen's sterile blue light stretches across my desk, illuminating every file I've gathered: bills, statements, notices, proof of their entitlement. I click through menus with precise deliberation, changing the billing address from my Social Security debit card to Michael's credit card. A subtle smile tugs at my lips as I confirm. Let him explain this to his wife later. Next, I navigate to the gas provider's website. The furnace meter shows activity. I click Submit Move-Out Request, effective immediately. A confirmation email arrives, its subject line sharp in my inbox. Service termination scheduled. I lean back, feeling the first real warmth of empowerment. The water company comes next. Usage history scrolls by. Hundreds of gallons drained at my expense. I select Shut-Off Service and accept the penalties without flinching. The final click echoes in my head like a judge's gavel. No more running water, no more endless showers, no more dishwasher loads charged to me. I open the cable and internet subscription page. My login details fill in automatically. I close every account with a single command. Cancel package. Pop-ups demand reasons. I type entitlement into each field. The words feel heavy and rightful. I hit confirm and log out before any remorse can settle in. 4 streaming services, 2 phone plans, and my home security system follow. Each cancellation severs another strand of their comfortable life. The silence of my study room is profound, a stark contrast to the chaos I've endured downstairs. I sit for a moment and savor it. Finally, I search for a locksmith. I find a local service with glowing reviews and place an order. Change front door locks at 6:30 a.m. I leave clear instructions. New keys only to homeowner. No duplicates, no exceptions. The schedule confirmation chimes softly. The deal is sealed. I close the laptop and stand. The moonlight streams through the window, casting long shadows across the hardwood floor. I run my hand along the grain, grounded by its solidity. I breathe in the faint scent of pine from the tree downstairs, now powerless and dark, a symbol of what they've lost. Morning light drifts through frosted windows when the locksmith's hammer begins its work. I slip into my coat and step into the hall. The temperature has plummeted. Frost edges the window panes. The silence is absolute. A muffled cry reaches me from the living room. I walk toward it, each footstep measured. I pass that grand tree, its ornaments glinting weakly without power. The front door stands firmly locked. Through the glass, I see Amanda's reflection. Wide-eyed, hand pressed to the cold wood. She bangs on the door, voice cracking. "Linda, open up!" "Open!" Inside, Sophie's small sobs echo. Ethan tugs Michael's sleeve, confusion and fear twisting his face. Michael paces the foyer, fists clenched at his sides. His breath puffs in the chill air like smoke. He looks at me with something I recognize: guilt, regret, and longing, all tangled together. I unlock the door with my new key. It turns smoothly, the latch clicking free. I push the door open and step inside, closing it gently behind me. The warmth hits me like a wave, stale, recycled, and entirely theirs. I don't flinch. Amanda stares as if she's seeing me for the first time. Her makeup is half smeared from tears. Her hair falls loose around her shoulders, frazzled. Her eyes burn with a mix of anger and shock. "What did you do?" she whispers. I inhale deeply. The scent of splintered wood and pine needles thicken the air. I fold my arms and meet her gaze. "I taught you a lesson about taking people for granted," I say, voice soft but unyielding. Michael steps forward, voice low. "Mom." I raise a hand, stopping him. I turn to the children. Sophie's tears glisten on her cheeks. Ethan's lower lip quivers. I kneel, brushing Sophie's hair back. "Sweetheart, I'm sorry you're cold. We'll get through this." I stand and address Amanda directly. "You forced me out on Christmas morning. You left me shivering on the porch while you feasted and watched from the window. You drained my accounts, doubled my bills, and belittled my home. You think you own this place. You don't." Her face pales. She opens her mouth, then closes it. I place a hand on the platter of cold cinnamon rolls I carried down earlier. "These are yours," I say. I lift the tray and set it on the table by the window. "I hope you enjoy them. Baked with love, paid with my money." Amanda's shoulders slump. Michael's head hangs. The children watch in silence. The house feels small all of a sudden. I gather my coat from the rack and sling it over my arm. I check my purse for my wallet and keys. Michael steps toward me. "Please, don't go," he pleads. I hesitate. For one fleeting heartbeat, I feel the old urge to forgive, to reconcile. But I remember every insult, every text, every bill. I remember the cold door. I remember the note. I shake my head. "I love you, Michael, but you let her treat me like a stranger." My voice catches. "I can't come back, not until you all learn what respect means." He reaches for my hand. I pull away gently. Sophie cries, "Grandma, stay." Her voice fractures me, but I steel myself. I step back into the foyer. I close the door behind me and lock it. The click is final. Outside, snow flutters down in lazy spirals. I lift my face to the sky and let the flakes land on my eyelashes. Each one is unique, fragile, and then it's gone. I walk to my car and open the passenger door for my own belongings. The cinnamon rolls, gifts wrapped carefully, and my purse. I settle into the driver's seat. The engine roar feels good in my ears. I back out of the driveway, headlights cutting through the snowfall. The Thompson home shrinks in my rearview mirror. Dark windows, powerless tree, empty halls. A pang lands in my chest. A mother's love doesn't falter easily. But love without respect is just a chain, and I refuse to be bound any longer. I turn onto the street and head toward the diner at the edge of town. By the time I pull into the parking lot, the sky is lightening, day bleeding into Christmas afternoon. The neon sign buzzes above the door. 24-hour diner. My sanctuary. I slide onto an orange vinyl booth, the cold seat sending a shiver through me. A waitress appears, steam from her coffee pot drifting toward me. I order an eggnog latte and a slice of pumpkin pie, tradition without entitlement. As she pours, I cradle the warm mug in my hands, feeling the heat seep into my fingertips. Across the frosted window, I see the Thompson house, silhouette against drifting snow, silent and still. I lift my mug and tap it gently on the table. I speak softly, as if comforting a friend. May you learn. May you remember. I turn to the camera, your camera, my witness. I place the latte down and lean in. If you've ever been cast aside by those you love, if you've ever had to reclaim your dignity, you're not alone. Subscribe for more stories of standing strong, and comment below, where in the world are you reclaiming your power? I sip the latte, its sweetness a promise of new beginnings. Outside, the snow continues to fall. Inside, I am warm. I am free.